What is up, my friends? You are very, very welcome back to this evening's late night agenda, where your quadruple chasing Reds have got the first part of the jigsaw solved. How are we all? Have we calmed down yet? I haven't, I won't lie. Grabbed a quick shower and then jumped straight back on here, and I'm looking forward to getting stuck into it and going through the game, talking about the celebratory moments, the funny moments, the annoying moments, and lots more in between. We've done it. Trophy number 1, safely tucked away and secured, and who knows what the remainder of the season has in store. But I tell you what, it is truly beautiful to know that Jurgen Klopp will not be departing Liverpool without some silverware this season. Sorry, I'm just plugging my mouse in because it needs to be recharged. I'm delighted, but I'm also delighted to be here with you good folks. So, yeah, let your comments go, my friends. It is up to you guys. It is your show. We will talk about whatever it is you want to discuss. Let me plug this back in. I'm buzzing. So, we'll talk about, of course, the performances, the kids, the emotion involved in it. I thought Jurgen Klopp's press conference was actually truly beautiful. I thought it was amazing. Listening to him speak about how special it was to share the experience or the achievement with that young team and what it meant and how unusual it was. I've seen Pochettino trying to talk about them having a young team. It's like every time Poch opens his mouth, it just gets a little bit more embarrassing. Speaking about a young team. Mate, you don't have a young team. You just have a team of mercenaries who were overpaid to come into the job, and showed it. Because like I said, when the stomach was needed for a fight, when the backs were to the wall, who showed up? Our boys, our fans, our captain, our players. No accident. It isn't an accident these things happen. It's muscle memory. It's environmental issues. It's being that way on the training ground every single day. You can't fake these moments. Some teams try, but you can't. I do like Gary Neville calling them blue billion bottle jobs, or blue bottle job billionaires, or something along those lines. Pochettino commented, "I feel proud. They made a big effort. We're a young team. Nothing to compare to Liverpool." Did he look at that pitch today and look across to see what a young team actually looked like? Because I tell you what, there was one team out there who had some experience today, and there was one team who had a lot of experience, and we weren't the ones with a lot of experience, but we were the ones with the heart, the determination, and the fight. One of the greatest games I've ever seen to downtown Vegas. Beating the billion blue bottlers was great. Great day for our fans around the world as well. Yep. And no better place for me to share it than with you guys. Honestly, I was so happy I got again to share that moment with you guys. To share the whole experience with you. And to have our biggest watch-along of the season. Our third ever biggest watch-along on the channel. We did 220,000 views of just the watch-along. And it's incredible. And what a day. What a day. I got to be honest, right? When Klopp made the changes and the likes of Dans and Clark and McConnell was coming on, I'm not going to lie to you. I hope we'd be able to see the game out and get the penalties. That was how I felt inside. But they had other plans. And that wasn't their plan, to just see it through to penalties. Nope, our captain said, "I'm having enough of this." Costas puts the cross in. Verge leaps up. Header, goal, thank you. Wheels away in celebration. And it was a fitting end to what they deserved, because it shouldn't have gone to extra time. It should have been sorted in 90 minutes. But, you know, we can debate the refereeing situation and the VAR situation. But let me just say one thing. We all knew when Chris Kavanagh was sent to the monitor that we were about to have our hearts broken. We all knew. Because referees very rarely go over there and don't go with whatever the VAR has said to them. I'll never, ever, ever, as long as I watch football, understand the barefaced cheek of them giving that as an offside. It was disgusting. Whichever way you want to look at it. If you want to say Endo was in an offside position and then he came back and blocked off a Chelsea player, my argument to you will be, follow the ball. Follow the ball after it's played in. No way on earth was the Chelsea player that Endo's accused of blocking off going to get there. Never. It was 3 yards behind him by the time the ball came in. He wasn't getting near it. He knew it. I knew it. There was no appeal from those Chelsea players. It was another one of those pedantic Jobsworth decisions from VAR that we see not get punished multiple times a week. Every set piece, every goal would have to be ruled out from a set piece because there's always jostling, there's always blocking, there's always dragging and holding on. That's football. But hey, it doesn't matter. We got there in the end. Endo, wow, said everything Hezbollah shorts. So the only worry about Endo is, of course, that he left on crutches at the end of the game. I don't know what's going to happen on Wednesday. I was trying to even look ahead to Wednesday to think what type of a squad or team could Jurgen put together for the FA Cup, and I gave up trying to figure it out because I couldn't think it through. But it doesn't matter. Wednesday will take care of itself on Wednesday. Today is about admiration. If I could use one word, it would be admiration today. My admiration for those players, senior and young, the coaches, the fans, man. The fans. What to say? Travelling fans. Unbelievable. Impeccable. Amazing. Difference makers. Each and every one of them. Every man, woman and child that was inside that stadium from a Liverpool perspective played their part. Helped the team get over the line. It was incredible. Just incredible to be able to experience it, I guess. Morganski said, got a call from Klopp. I'm going to be playing on Wednesday. You deserve it, mate. You know, I was going to play it as well, so I'm glad Klopp got there ahead of me. Craig, can you play on Wednesday if needs be? Yeah, for about 4 minutes before I'd be out of oxygen. Any news on Gravenberch? No. I don't expect any news this early. You've seen yourself, he was in a protective boot on crutches at the end of the game. Do you know what one got me? Did you see Nunes, Darwin, when we scored? Did you see him baiting down the steps, nearly knocking over Curtis Jones, jumping over the advertising hoardings? He was not going to be denied his celebration. These are all the little things that we're starting to see now after the game that are coming out. But my favourite moment, and I don't know if you guys have seen it, I think a lot of you have. If you're in our Discord group, you certainly have. The Scouts fan saying unlucky or hard luck to Enzo. Did you see that clip? Oh my God, I could listen to that laugh all day. Unlucky lad. And then the laugh that goes along with it. And Enzo turning around like he's a hard man. Mate, you'd have got your chop slapped off. But it was hilarious listening to the Liverpool fan just wind them up. It was priceless. Absolutely amazing. I could listen to that over and over again. And the bitterness and the expression in Enzo's face was so good. So good. Dom hurdled over the hoarding also after Nunes. So happy we lost to Chelsea for the signature of Caicedo. Can't say his name, he's laughable. Number 25, lost to Chelsea. Mad saying, love Endo. Yeah, so Endo bossed it today in midfield, as did McAllister. That Chelsea team and fans got what they deserved. Nothing. Their fans were useless. Their players were, apart from Cole Palmer actually, who I think thought put in a shift. I mean, if I never have to look at Chilwell, Gallagher and all these other diving, cheating, feigning clowns who just, I don't know, just disappointment, lads. Honestly, it's just, they didn't want to win the game the right way. And also Big Kelleher stepping up with some huge saves, some massive saves. Brilliant, all around. Did you guys hear the interview with Bobby Clark and Conor Bradley after the game? It was so unusual to see the interviewer talking to two fresh-faced kids, let's be honest. Both there with their winners' medals proudly around their neck. You know, talking about Jurgen, talking about the team, just talking about the experience. It was incredible. Incredible to see. Rabadam said, I'm getting more and more convinced that the Europa League final will be played by the champions of England and the champions of Germany. Amazing season. Yes, it's on, Rabadam. It's on, as you said. The Bundesliga winners versus the potential Premier League winners-elect. And in my beautiful home city of Dublin. What more could a man ask for? A win. and the trophy to be lifted. Just shows you money doesn't talk, as they got beaten off by our kids. Our boys' interview with them sounded like men. It was amazing. Just all of it. It's Klopp's interview that got me, though. Klopp's press conference after the game, that got me. Honestly, that really just had me emotional, because you could see, you couldn't fake it. You could see how emphatic he was in his belief that this was something truly, truly special that was accomplished by that group today. Because in the face of 12 or 13 injuries now, and £1 billion opponent, and a referee and a VAR giving you nothing, and having a potentially winning moment removed, and everything that went with it, they kept fighting, they kept doing their thing, and they got their just reward. A Costas Jimica's corner, a Virgil van Dijk leap, a Virgil van Dijk header, and some broken Chelsea hearts. Brilliant. Brilliant. Amazing. Please, Endo update. The only update I can give you, my friend, is that he left on crutches. That's all. You know, I was planning on doing my preview for the Southampton game tomorrow, and I've told Connor I'm pushing it back till Tuesday because I need to get more information before we can do the video of quite simply who we'll have available. You know, even if you took out the Endo potential injury and the Gravenberch injury, if you just looked at it from the minutes played and the effort put in over 120 minutes today, Wednesday's going to come way too close for a lot of people. You don't want to be bringing any of the likes of Szoboszlai or Salah back in. You want to keep them up for Forest on Saturday. So it could be an under-21 Premier League 2 Liverpool 11 with the likes of Dan's, maybe Bradley. You probably see Joe Mez get a run out again. Kelleher, maybe he plays Adrian on Wednesday, I don't know. Jarell Kwanzaa will probably get a run out as well, maybe alongside Gomez in centre-back positions. In midfield, Clark, you've got McConnell as well. Dan's up top. Kumas maybe gets a run out. But you know what? I don't fear it anymore. And nor should you. How could we? You know, no more doubting the kids. Not that we ever did, but deep down you always think, I hope it goes well for them. But now, who knows? They've just gone out and won a League Cup final. Marshalled remarkably well by our captain. And I love Virgil in the dressing room saying, they said I was finished. That's the answer. That's the response, Virg. Canada as well, brilliant. Yeah, Endo, McAllister, Kelleher. I hope Kelleher's won a few more back over the past few weeks, because he came in for a little bit of stick at times from some people. But you can see his calibre. You know, he made 3 big saves again today. Don't mind, he's dancing with my girl. The kids are all right, said Martin Halliwell. I'm not crying, you're crying, said Thurman. Honestly, dude, I was getting close to it with Klopp's press conference after the game. You know, the beaming smile, the pride, but his seriousness and wanting to make sure that everybody knew what a special thing had just happened. Yeah, incredible. We might need to drop Alisson if Kelleher keeps this up. I'll tell you what, one question I'd say to you right now, folks, is what's he worth? What's Caoimhín Kelleher worth now in the market? Because I tell you what, you got to add another 5 million easily onto his price tag after that. We're partying tonight, Craig. It's the one I was least arsed about, but our centre half, our number 4, gets it done. Love your work, lad. Thank you, Chris. And you've every right to. And I won't lie, Chris, again, all week I said, you know, if we win it, great. If we don't, focus back to the weekend and Forest. But it feels good, doesn't it? Come on, feels good. And it feels good the way we won it, you know, because we were all mentally preparing ourselves for penalties. Well, at least I assume we all were. But that was sweeter. That was way better than winning it on penalties, because there's no, it's a coin toss anymore. That was want, desire, execution. Brilliant. Liverpool lads, 60 million, 20 million, 25 million, 30 million, 30 to 35, said Harry. John Power, 40 million. Goomy, 100 mil. Brett Young, 50 million. Honestly, look, if you're looking for a realistic price for Kelleher, I think 20 to 25 million is probably like what I would look for at this point. The man's delivered and not conceded a goal in 2 cup finals. He's faced an XG of 3.49 and conceded 0. So, yeah, for me, his calibre is clear now. Darwizzy, thank you for the super sticker, mate. Appreciate you. Endo's mouthguard versus Caicedo. I tell you what, I pay good money for that mouthguard. Oh, I'd pay good money for that mouthguard to be sent to me and put in a frame. Who doesn't love him? Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. He's won us all over, hasn't he? He's won our hearts and minds 100%. What a man. And again, let's remember, last season, he was in the Bundesliga with Stuttgart. A good club, don't get me wrong. Now look at him. Actually, were Stuttgart in the Bundesliga too last year? I know they came up and down a few times, but either way, he came from middling in the Bundesliga to living his dream of playing in the Premier League, to walking out at Wembley in front of 90,000, and to go and win a winner's medal in his first final with Liverpool. What a story. Jumpman, thank you for the super chat, mate. Appreciate you. Let's go. Your reaction to the goal was awesome, said Steve. Thank you, mate. Thank you. There's nothing worse, though, when I celebrate a goal and I feel like I've not done it justice. But I feel like I just let it all out when Vert scored. Craig, who can be back in time for Forest? Can we do the exercise of seeing who can be back? These injuries are scaring the hell out of me. Absolutely. So I would expect, and I'm being honest, I would expect Salah and Szoboszlai to be back. I'd be hopeful that Darwin will be able to play a part. Szoboszlai said that, he was almost arguing with the doctors wanting to play. So I would think with an extra bit of recovery, yeah, you would hope to see Salah and Szoboszlai at least available. Same with Darwin. I wouldn't expect anyone else back after that. Jones was still on crutches. Trent, we know, is a bit longer term. Diogo, very much longer term. Yeah, so they'd be the 3 you're looking at to hope that. But you know what? Our worst fears were realised today. All week we built this up and we talked about hopefully one of them comes and is available. And we got the news today that we dreaded, that none of those 3 were available. But we still did it. They still did it. Incredible. Just incredible. Cundy looks like a clown calling VVD overrated. I could think of another word to describe Cundy. I'd be demonetised for saying it, but look, it's not about Cundy today. Leave them to it. But they all look a bit foolish. And look, Verge answered the right way with the performance, with 2 goals, both perfectly valid. Amazing. It's like the best way to win a game of football, isn't it? Right to death like that. Why wasn't Cade Gordon on the bench? I don't know is the honest answer, mate. I don't know. I would imagine he was fit. Yeah, truth is I don't know. I'll tell you what though. Dan's looks like the real deal, doesn't he? He didn't come on to that pitch at the end of the game or at the end of normal time to just see that out. He came on to try and win it. And my God, the young man had a go. He was very close to following in Elliot's header that was saved by the Chelsea keeper with his feet. He almost followed in, but 2 Chelsea defenders actually defended that situation well. He had a header that Petrovic tipped over the bar. He looks lively. He looks classy. He looks phenomenal for 18, 19 years of age? Wow. I think Pep Linders or somebody made a comment that there's about £300 million worth of talent in the academy or coming through it. Hard to push back against that. What are these experiences going to be worth to these players as they go on? Whether their career ends up at Liverpool or elsewhere. This is all stuff that you cannot buy, this experience. To not just be part of a matchday squad at Wembley, but to walk out, contribute to it, and be on that pitch at the end when it was won. Massive. Have you ever seen a ref called to a monitor for offside? I think I have. Yeah, I think I have once. I'm trying to be honest in how I answer it. But it's a farce. The offside decision was a farce. Mike Dean is a farce. Dermot Gallagher tomorrow will likely be a farce. Anybody who doesn't call out that shenanigans for what it was is deluded. If you're ruling that out, then what are we going to see? There'll be no more goals from set pieces. None. It's pathetic. And it's a great example of overanalyzing a situation and looking for reasons to rule out goals. Not looking for a massive mistake that was made by somebody. Looking for a reason to rule out a goal. Answer me how that's a clear and obvious error. So I'm, as a rational-minded man, supposed to believe that constituted a clear and obvious error. But Caicedo nearly breaking Gakpo or Gravenberch's ankle, I'm supposed to believe was a slip, when the slip only came after he planted his foot on Gravenberch's ankle. Watch it back. I'm not imagining this. He only slipped after he'd made the challenge. And the reason he slipped was because he couldn't get the purchase with his left foot on the ground because it was busy implanted in Ryan Gravenberch's right ankle. So again, us with rational minds and eyes of our own are supposed to believe that both those decisions were officiated the right way. Nah, not having it. Sorry. Again, PGMOL officials trying to dictate the outcome of a game of football. It's pathetic. And it should be spoken about more in the media. Because we did it despite what they tried to do. Not because of anything, despite their best efforts. Some more of your comments. Eagle v Shark, welcome to Anfield Agenda Ultras, buddy. Pleasure to have you in with us. Did you hear Klopp on the refs? I haven't heard Klopp on the refs, Nevlin, but I'd love to. Wow, downtown Vegas. Thank you so much, my man. Said, I have a new girlfriend, and this was her first Liverpool game she ever watched. She just texted me, you can take our first goal, but you'll never take our freedom. Best day ever. Love it. Love it that you've got yourself a new missus. Love that she enjoyed the experience of her first game. Love that I'm going to get to see your good self in Vegas in October. And thank you, mate, for your unbelievable generosity there. Top man, thank you. Footy Banter, how are you, my friend? Craig, good work. When's Salah back? Nunez, Curtis Jones or Szoboszlai, will they be available for Forest? Is Luis Diaz injured? Ooh, lots of questions. And also, appreciate all your support, mate. Some great comments during the game as well. Right, let's break it down. Salah, Szoboszlai and Nunez. I would be amazed if two of the three of them aren't available for Forest. Diaz, I don't think he's injured as such as he's just fatigued to bits and will have to go through a lot of massages and post-match work to make sure that those cramps and that muscle strain is at a minimum. Wouldn't think he'd be anywhere near the team on Wednesday, but you would hope a week later or 6 days down the line that it'd be okay to be back for Forest. Fingers crossed. Jones, well, he was on crutches today and that's not a great sign. So I don't know what the situation is there. Certainly, I'm not expecting him to be back for Forest, but you never know. If he starts training in the mid part of the week, let's wait and see. I think have I covered everybody on your list? Yep, I think so. And thank you again, Footy Banter. Thoughts on Ben Chilwell acting like a hard case? He wouldn't kick snow off a rope, as we say over here in Ireland. And he wasn't the only one. Like, you seen Enzo going up the steps acting like a hard man as well. They're all hold me back merchants, a lot of them. Look, they didn't do their fighting out there on the pitch where it counted, did they? No. Giving it Billy Big, you know what. Doesn't matter. Didn't do their talking on the pitch with their football. Enough said. Harry Klein, poll for your favourite youngster minus Kwanzaa. No, I don't want to do a poll where we have to not love everyone, if you get me, mate. I mean, I have to say Bradley for me. You love Kwanzaa, I can see that. But I tell you what, Dan's is something I'm very much looking forward to getting to admire and watch a little bit more. He looks like a Rolls Royce of a player from what we've seen so far. Someone said, can I ban Damon Fool? I haven't seen the comments. Oh, that one, Damon's Vlogs and Games. Oh yeah, who cares about you, mate? Once I seen Man City, oof, immediately gone. Once I seen the word Man City in his comments, don't even care what he was saying, just enough to be banned just for mentioning Man City. Craig, if we class that as Liverpool Academy, imagine how far we can go with the injured 11 back. So, if you want to look at a positive spin, those players that are coming back now, your Salahs, your Darwins, your Soboslais, your Trent in the near future, your Jones, your Alisson after the international break. These guys are going to have had a lovely little break as well, ready for 100 miles an hour football between now and the end of the campaign. And it weirdly, if we can keep picking up the wins, I won't say it'll help us, but it won't do us any harm that these boys have had a rest up, because there's a lot of games going to happen between now and the end of May. And the fact that some of these guys have had a breather, it should make it even more enjoyable for us at the end, because it's going to be a short summer for a lot of people with the Euros and stuff as well. When's the Copa America on, by the way? Sorry for my ignorance on this, but I can't remember when that tournament's on. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of football, competitive action on internationals, so it'll be a shortened window. So hopefully we can get news on the sporting director before the end of March, which I believe is when the club hope to make that appointment before then. What's this he sent me? Oh, okay, cool. Mark's just sent me some quotes from Theo Squires about Klopp. Klopp on the referee and injuries. We had a ref who wasn't up to the level of the game. No common sense. We had players on the pitch who had problems. We asked Harvey and Lucho to stay up front, to not go back anymore. I've no idea who can play on Wednesday. I mean, look, it's all understandable from Kloppo. And he's right about the referee. Kavanagh was a disgrace. It's like he overcompensated tremendously for what Pochettino said during the week. Same for Brooks on VAR, by the way. The same VAR official that Pochettino moaned about, who was in charge of the VAR hub when we beat Chelsea 4-1 at Anfield, when Tierney refed. Some of those decisions today were quite frankly despicable. To see Caicedo not be booked after 7 or 8 blatant fouls, one of them intentionally sending a player off injured because he stood on his ankle, and then to hear some pundits try to justify that, or the VAR hub to say he slipped. He slipped after he stood on his foot. It's very clear to see. So yeah, I'm disgusted yet again, but am I surprised? No. I'm never surprised by the ineptitude of the officials. And I won't be surprised when this is all glossed over during the week, or when Dermot Gallagher comes on Sky tomorrow and tells us they were all great decisions. But Mike Dean, I believe, and I haven't heard this yet, so I'm going to have to ask you on this. I believe when Mike Dean was brought in initially, after Verge's disallowed goal, and again, please correct me if I'm wrong, he said something like, yep, no problems with any of that. And then by the end of it, when it was ruled out, he somehow changed his mind to it being the right decision. Have I got that right? Because if that's the case, that tells you everything you need to know. The same little idiot who didn't send Anthony Taylor to the monitor when Cucurella was having the hair pulled out of his head, and admit it because he didn't want to get his mate in trouble or give him more grief. Nothing about doing the job in the correct way or making the right decision or integrity. Nah, his mate. So I'm supposed to have to listen and pay my 200 and something quid a month to Sky to hear the opinions of idiots, and that's what they are, idiots, tell me that what I'm seeing with my own eyes is wrong because he used to be an official. The arrogance of that muppet and his thought processes is quite frankly sickening. I mean, on there, bigging it up with Clinton Morrison and all the lads on Soccer Saturday, we don't want to see them. We don't need to see referees. Stop making pseudo-celebrities out of these idiots. Pundits my arse. Embarrassing. They're jealous we're the most successful club in England. Oh, we are on Sky. A nice little stat on that one earlier on. 46 trophies to your Reds. 43 to United. And then a good drop down. But yes, more confirmation. It's just consistency we want. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, again, we've seen, and I'm not going to limit this to just Liverpool. We've seen Marcus Rashford be sent off. I think it was in the Champions League this season for a similar incident about planting his foot down. We've seen Curtis Jones get sent off for literally momentum, running his foot over the top of a ball and hitting a player. And then we see Caicedo, my apologies, Caicedo, that today. And did he even finish that game with a booking? It's unfathomable. What's this one? So Pochettino says it's not fair that Gary Neville called Chelsea side the blue £1 billion bottle jobs. You see, I disagree as well. I actually agree with Pochettino. I don't think Chelsea should be called the blue £1 billion bottle jobs. And I'll tell you why. Bottle jobs imply that anybody thought they were going to win it. I didn't. Bottle jobs mean you go out there, you're expected to do it and you don't. So, I mean, I love the banter, don't get me wrong. But I don't think the bottle jobs, because they're just inferior, is what I'd say. Mercenaries. Craig, the game is ruined by money and London club bias. Oh, look, sometimes I find it hard to comment on these things, Dylan, because I'm not English. And I feel a bit wrong at times talking about the likes of a London bias. But I see it from the outside with no skin in the game, because I'm not from one part of England or another part of England. I live in Ireland, as you know. But it feels very apparent that there is a London bias among certain parts of the media. And I'm not even going to limit it to a club. It can be Arsenal, Spurs or Chelsea. And the media fluffing is nuts at times. Nuts. You know, maybe I'm wrong on that. You guys, you know, you live in the country, a lot of you, you know, you have a fairer opinion or a more of a right for an opinion on that than I do. But from the outside, it does feel that way at times, yes. No booking, it doesn't make sense. Everything seems to be against us. VAR, injuries, and yet we're still having a brilliant season. Everyone to a man, pulling in the same direction. Couldn't be more proud, said Suketu 18. I mean, how do you not book Caicedo in that game? For any number of ways, right? The totting up process, he should have been booked. The fouls, he should have been off. And then McAllister, one foul, yellow card. Now, okay, fair enough. Sometimes one foul is enough for a yellow card. And I had no problem with the McAllister yellow card. But again, how can you tell me that that's a yellow card and all the other stuff isn't? And then also, the Chilwell incident with Conor Bradley. Chilwell was the aggravator in that incident. Bradley landed on him, yes, but Chilwell's the one who went up and started getting aggro. Why did Conor Bradley get a booking? Just for being there? The more I see Kelleher, the more I'm convinced he's Alisson in disguise. He's a lot of similar attributes, doesn't he? The way he makes himself big, the angles he takes, the way he puts his feet to the ground and trails one leg sort of behind him a little bit to make himself a little bit wide. I can't show you what I'm trying to do with my leg here, but it's no accident that they all work together. Your Taffarells with them, your John Achterbergs, your Alisson, your Kelleher, Adrian. we have, in my opinion, the best goalkeeping department overall in world football. And I think that's been the aim of the club, is to make this a goalkeeping destination. And wherever Queeveen goes, if he departs Liverpool, somebody's getting themselves a fine goalkeeper, with a lot of experience now in major moments as well, major finals on the international level. What height am I? 5'10". 5'10", mate. What socks am I wearing? I don't know, because I had a shower in between the streams, so let me have a look. They're white trainer socks with a bit of a bit of grey at the top of the toes. As a fellow Cork man, Kelleher is getting better and better. I'm not going to disagree with you, Calvin. He's got a presence now, doesn't he, Kelleher? Like, we talk about Alisson having that commanding presence. Kelleher's grown into that himself. Yeah, as an Irishman, obviously, it's amazing to see. And as a former goalkeeper myself, I'm so proud. So proud. Tell us what colour your panties are. Wine. There you go. Wine. Why don't you like broccoli? I don't know, I've always found a very, I don't know how to describe it other than to say it tastes too green. It does fit, I don't know. I've eaten carrots and other vegetables and I just think, yeah, okay, I can kind of see how some people get this. But broccoli, it's like soggy, drippy, little trees of arrogance, quite frankly. I don't get it. My missus loves broccoli. Loves it. I don't know. It's always been the one vegetable that I've avoided like the plague. Hopefully we win the quadruple. What was that? You avoided a lot of vegetables like the plague. Fair up, hands up. But hopefully we win the quadruple. Okay, I'm going to ask the question. I was going to hang off on it, but I'm asking it. Is the quadruple, can it be done? I'm going to ask it. Can we actually win the quad? Poll in the chat, yes or no. Quad, you're not in the Champions League. You sound like Arsenal fans. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't hear you over the sound of empty seats and arrogance there, NP. Have a look under your bed, bro. Your Chelsea jersey's probably still there from last season. And of course it's a quad, mate. You won't have to worry about a quad. Don't worry about it. You'll have to worry about maybe Johnson Paint League trophy in a few years when you're relegated. I don't know. Maybe you'll find your Chelsea shirt again. Nobody cares, Man City fans. Just don't bother. We don't give a damn about your Tin Pot Club or your opinions. Nobody gives a damn. Stay in your own streams and leave the celebrating to us. You know, people with actual integrity. What do I think? No, is what I think. I don't think we can win the quad. I don't. I think we can win 3, but I don't think we can win the quad. I think there's a reason it hasn't been done. And look, our Manchester City supporting friend, he's right. It isn't the quad, but it's a quad, right? It's every trophy we were in this season. And also saying you sound like Arsenal fans. Well, again, they couldn't win the quad because they weren't in the League Cup final. And also, Arsenal fans have every right to dream and believe because they're trying to build and win stuff. They're pushing on. They're building year on year, getting better and better, stronger and stronger, more resilient, more consistent. They should dream, as should we. And they've earned the right to dream by doing it the right way, unlike our Mancunian friend in blue, who tried to, well, you know. You always cheer Endo. I'm so glad of that from Japan. Mate, how could we not? How could we not? You know, I'm going to tell you a little bit about why I very quickly started to admire Endo the man, and a bit later, Endo the footballer. When you sign a player, particularly one that you don't know that much about, and, you know, I didn't know all that much about Endo, but when you're signing a player, you immediately look to the reaction of the fans from the club he's leaving. And to a fan, those Stuttgart men, women and children said, obviously we're devastated losing our captain, a fighter, but we don't begrudge the man his dream, which was to come and play in the Premier League. So you get that move and you think to yourself, how is he going to react to this? Is he going to be overawed by the occasion? Is he going to kind of think, well, I've got to move now, let's see how it goes? And no, head down, working his backside off, honest in his assessment of the league, in his own deficiencies at first, in the fact that Klopp wanted him to play 15 yards higher or so than he was used to at Stuttgart, where he was a more defensive shield, where he'd come back and split the centre-backs. Now you see him winning balls inside the opposition half with a high press. Warrior. Don't know what else to say. Don't mean to use a lazy trope of saying a samurai, but he is easily lovable, easily admirable, and carries himself with tremendous integrity, pride, and is a joy to have at the club. That's all I can say about Endo, man. Love him. Love him. Can't be the only one that doubted Endo before the Fulham match. I think we all had doubts, Connor. Of course we did. I don't think any of us are going to lie to you. We all had doubts. You're bringing in somebody who's 31 when you've missed out on Caicedo and Lavia, and you're thinking, is this a rush job? You know? But, as is always the way, Klopp knew what he was at. Schmeichel played a blinder, and the numbers, whatever they were looking at, didn't lie. And actually, be honest, I think he's a little bit ahead of schedule. I thought he would probably take 6 months to bed in. But no, he has returned from the Asia Cup as well and got right to the levels he was at before he departed. Just so likeable. And yeah, a team of Endos, and you wouldn't go too far wrong, would you? Is Endo injured? I don't know if he's injured or if he cramped up and was just on crutches because he didn't want to put weight on something. Maybe there was I don't know, is the honest answer. Certainly there was an issue with his leg. What that is yet, I don't want to guess at. Which other 3 trophies would you take? League and Europa League. Has to, like... Look, we're celebrating today, and rightly so. But I can't be the only one who remembers the other quadruple chasing season. And I've got to be honest with you, whilst you never want to turn your nose up at a trophy, not winning one of the 2 big ones and losing the final of the Champions League and coming up short in the league by a little bit, it felt like that was an anticlimax of a season. Still proud. You know, 2 trophies is 2 trophies. But this year of all years, we've got a domestic trophy in the kitty now. You got to get one of the 2 other ones. Premier League's got to be the goal between now and the end of the season. I care about the FA Cup from the point of view of the quadruple chasing, but if I had to sacrifice one in a heartbeat, I'd be sacrificing the FA Cup. We know if we get past Sparta Prague in 2 legs, second leg at Anfield, we're into the last 8 of the Europa League. 5 games away from lifting that trophy then. Premier League, it's going to come down to a couple of games. Our game against City, City's game against Arsenal. I would say the Manchester Derby, but I don't really hold out much hope. And then, of course, our second to last game as well, away against Villa. But if we get through the Manchester City game and we're still on top of the Premier League table after that game, I think that's where you start to, I don't say it's won, because it's never won in the Premier League, but it feels real from that point for me. And between now and May 10th or March 10th, when we play Manchester City, we've one more league game against Forest next week, and I hope we get that win, and then we start working towards that Man City game. And either side of that, you've a away trip to Sparta Prague, and then the other side of it, you've a second leg at home to Sparta Prague. So big few weeks, but it's better to be at the dance, isn't it? It's better to be at the dance than to be outside banging on the window. What will be the best result in Arsenal versus City? A draw? I don't know. See, I'd almost say, and hear me out, let's say we beat City. If Arsenal were to beat them at the Etihad, that would kill off City. That's the end of them then. Then it's us and Arsenal. Now, granted, it still leaves Arsenal as a real threat. But I'd probably take it. If I had to pick a result, I'd probably want to just kill off Manchester City altogether and just get that done. And then go head-to-head with Arsenal, and then see what happens between now and the end of the season. So, yeah, dream scenario, we beat City, Arsenal beat them, and then we see who racks up the most points and goals between now and the end of the campaign. Knowing that we still, of course, have a 2-point gap on Arsenal at that point. Arian said, Craig, this time last year we were sat here miserable when United won it. A year later, we're jubilant. Yeah, 100%. It was a horrendous middle of last season. God, that was horrible. But we finished it, rather strongly. Some positives from it, the emergence of Bajcetic and stuff. But yeah. City will dispatch of Arsenal at the Etihad, but they'll drop points in other games. Probably will. But, I was asked for a dream scenario. Don't forget, we should have that extra point against Spurs. I'd say we should have 3 points extra, because I don't think we go on to lose that game if our goal is given and Diaz scores. So I'm saying we're probably 3 points better off at this point. And that's without the stupid Reds. Which of our injured players will be back for the City game? Well, you'd say Salah, Szoboszlai, Darwin. For that game, I'd feel very, very confident in saying they'll be back, the three of them. How do you think if we did the quad, it would be worse than the 99 treble? I don't know what that means. Look, put it this way. I don't care what other people compare it to. That's for others to argue about. Whatever we win and we celebrate. Let others compare it to whatever they want, belittle it however they want. I don't really care about their opinion because they don't have any desire for us to succeed. City are playing Man United standard. Oh, that'll be a whooping for United next week. I've no hope of United getting anything from that game. If City win at Anfield, what's the best case scenario?
Okay, I've found this on the web.
So City win at Anfield, I got 2 points ahead. A draw with them and Arsenal at the Etihad. If my memory's 3, 2, I think that would tie it all up. If we won our other game, then I'm trying to just think this through. If we lost to City at Anfield and City and Arsenal drew at the Etihad and we won the week that they played Arsenal, am I right in saying that would have us all locked on level points? Or have I got my sums wrong? How much do you think Endo's worth in today's market? Oh, God, I have no idea, because you do have to take into account his age. 40 million, maybe? Did I think Van Dijk's first goal should have counted? Of course I did. It was a despicable decision to rule it out, Oliver. Because you'll see 15, 20 goals next weekend scored from corners, free kicks and set pieces with blocks and stuff like that. And to say that they didn't pull it back for a foul. They brought it for offside against Endo. Embarrassing. Because he was getting nowhere near the ball, the Chelsea player. Nowhere near it. Van Dijk was 2-3 yards behind him. Didn't even make an effort to get around Endo. I thought it was a really, really good example of why VAR is overanalyzing football. Because that's not a clear and obvious error from the referee. That's just argy-bargy, tactics, gamesmanship, and the dark arts. And they overanalyze the situation to the point where no longer are they looking to award goals. They're looking now through a checklist of how they can rule them out. And it's destroying it. Because in that scenario, you look around for the offside flag, you don't see it. You see a replay of it and you think, well, Verge definitely ain't offside. He scores, celebrates, and then, honestly, I thought the chat was winding me up at first when they said, VAR check, and I was thinking, what? So then we look at it and you see the VAR check happen and you're like, okay, surely they come down on the side of common sense here. But as soon as you see Chris Kavanagh being asked to go to the monitor, I knew at that point what was happening. As soon as he walked, that was it. I had no hope we were getting that goal. And it's hard to take that and the Caicedo incident in one game. And again, we're being told, suck it up, Buttercup. You know, these are marginal decisions. All these marginal decisions always seem to go down against us in big moments. And especially when you've got the VAR table showing that Liverpool have had 4 incorrect decisions against them by VAR this season. And that's before today. So I'm just glad Verge got the winner in extra time. But I'm also frustrated because that's another 30 minutes football in those legs of those players. And Endo's cramps and football that we probably could have had a stronger team out on Wednesday if that hadn't gone to extra time. So I'm annoyed by the fact that they had to put the extra 30 minutes in the legs. I was annoyed when the final whistle and normal time went because that should have been us celebrating it. But also kind of had a bit of a smirk inside to think, you've tried again with your shenanigans and you still couldn't begrudge us. Even a team with 13 injuries now and dodgy goals getting robbed off and red cards not being given, and you still couldn't stop us. There's something very satisfying about that as well. It very much at times feels like it's us against the world, and you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't have it any other way, because that will galvanise the group even more. Stop talking about VAR, that's why they call you the victims. Yes, that's why, Kyle. It's got nothing to do with other reasons, mate. And how about this, Kyle? You should be thanking me for talking about VAR. Because without people like me, there's nobody left to call out this farce. Without people like me having the balls to call it out and sacrifice opportunities to get appearances on these other bigger outlets, without people like me having integrity and the courage to stand up and call it out, it becomes more blatant. You get screwed over even more. Because don't see anybody in the mainstream doing it, do you? No. So I'll carry on calling it out, mate. I'll carry on fighting for what I believe is the right side of football to come through. And you can carry on being an irrelevant little also-ran who, quite frankly, doesn't have the wherewithal to debate with me about football. And if you think that's why they call us victims, then you need to go and educate yourself. But I'll take a thank you, Kyle. Because, you know, without me and some others having the guts to call this shit out, you know, who knows what you'd have to put up with, mate. So how about just getting behind me and showing that you care about the game and that you want to call this stuff out and that it isn't good enough and that we shouldn't have to just suck it up. That's the attitude of people who are cowards. Sorry, mate, but what's that phrase again? All it takes for evil to succeed is for good men to do nothing. There's some truth in that. There's a lot of truth in that. It's not always easy to speak up. But if you feel that when you can close your eyes at night, that your integrity's intact, there's a lot of peace in that. Just landed back in Liverpool, said correct, nice. I hope you had an amazing day, mate. VAR's been really bad this season, Craig, you're right. It's not just us, by the way. I'm not sitting here saying Liverpool are the only team being shafted. No, not at all. You ask Wolves fans what they think about VAR this season. You know, you pick it. You ask United fans what they think about VAR. I'm not saying this is a Liverpool-centric problem. But what I'm saying is, unless we start to, as football fans, come together and call out what is blatant, at best, at the very, very best, inconsistency, at the worst, potentially something more sinister. But remember, it's our game. These people, referees, Howard Webb, all these people serve at the pleasure of the footballing public. They're not there to be gods. And referees are supposed to be in the background, officiating the game, not deciding the game. Doug, how are you, mate? Evening, Craig. What a win. Everyone played to a T. Really well done to Kelleher, was my man of the match. That save from Palmer was truly amazing. The future is bright. So, by the way, Kelleher was your Anfield Agenda man of the match earlier on. Beat Virgil van Dijk by, I think, 4% in the poll. So, yes, congratulations. And thank you, Doug. Appreciate you, mate. Hope you guys enjoyed the final as well, mate. Craig, am I the only one who's worried about Fulham away? We haven't won at Craven Cottage since 2019. One game at a time, mate. One game at a time. Full strength Liverpool, I fancy against pretty much anybody. And that includes Fulham, who are a good side, by the way. Don't get me wrong. You know, I've said this before. Fulham are one of the teams who I think have been able to get at us the most with the hybrid role of Trent. Fulham and Arsenal were the two teams, to me, that have been able to attack that space vacated in the right back position. So I certainly have respect for Fulham a lot. But, you know, a full strength us, I'd back against anyone. Some win, Craig. When will you go to Anfield? So, I spoke to the guy from Oosh who I'm going to be going over with. And we were going to go over to the Sparta game. But he's in Bali. And then he's San Francisco, I think. So, the plan is, if all goes to plan, the Europa League semi-final is the plan. And I like the idea of that for a couple of reasons. One of them is, and you probably don't know this, because why would you? But I was really lucky, and it was luck, to be at Jurgen Klopp's first game at Anfield against Ruben Kazan. I had tickets to that game before Klopp became manager, so I got lucky. So the idea of being at potentially Klopp's last European game at Anfield feels like a lovely full circle moment. So I think the plan is we get over to the semi-final of the Europa League at Anfield. Other than that, it's difficult to get away from the channel because this is like my job now, as well as Connor's job and Ben's job. And my priorities are always to the chat. And I turned down the opportunity to go to the final in Dublin because I want to be here with my community. So yeah, I'm hoping to be over for the second leg. Or whatever leg, the Anfield leg. I must be invisible. You're not, Charlie, but honestly, mate, sulking, it doesn't help, bro. I get it. I apologise if I've missed your comments, mate. It's not intentional. But I just grab random comments off screen, mate. There's no rhyme or reason to them. I don't have anyone that I'm trying to rule out or not. So apologies if I've missed your comments, but I don't do it intentionally, Charlie. Craig, you absolutely have to go to the final. Nah. Nope. Want to be here. Want to be with you guys. Or at an event in Dublin with you guys or something, but nah. Here. I don't think you will ever understand fully what you mean to me. And this connection and shared moments. Like, I speak about the Barcelona game being one of the best nights of my life, and I was up in my bedroom watching that at the time with you guys on screen. I love it. I love being able to celebrate with you guys and seeing your experiences in the chat and seeing what it means to all of you. Yeah, it means a lot emotionally. So yeah, be lovely to go to the final in Dublin. Of course it would, but I'm lucky that before I start making content, I had those two big finals in Athens and Istanbul that I was able to go to. So, you know, I always have those to look back on. But nah, for me, here, you guys, content, family, that's the way. The kids are amazing, said Abbas Anonymous. Better than the rest of the man. Well, to be fair, you know, we're lucky. I mean, what to see the amount of young players come through this year and flourish is incredible. I think was it Matt Thielen the other day said 15, something like that, Liverpool Academy products have played for Jurgen Klopp this season. Show me a club doing things in Europe at the highest level with numbers anywhere similar to that. You know, it is truly remarkable when you think about it. Dan's, you know, his first appearance midweek, and now he's out there in a League Cup final, playing a huge part in it, nearly scoring a winner. Phenomenal. Like, somebody made a great comment on the commentary, I think, on Sky, I think it was, where the Liverpool players were coming in after getting the medals, and they spoke about the age of these guys and spoke about the fact that they wouldn't be able to do it at 18 or 19. I've got to be honest, nor would I. I wouldn't be able to do what these kids are doing at 18, 19 years of age. No way. That's why they're special. And that's why they're something that we shouldn't take for granted. But God almighty, the future is exciting, isn't it? Did you see the picture of Trent, Neone, Doak, Dans, Clark, McConnell, Jones and Elliott? Oh, I don't know about that one in particular, Connor. I've seen a lot of stuff in the... I had about an hour in between finishing the other streams and starting this one. So I was just trying to get as much information as I could about, you know, listening to Klopp's interview and all that. Nunes said, bawled my eyes out at Wembley singing You'll Never Walk Alone. Mate, those travelling Liverpool fans were more than the 12th man today. It was incredible to see the energy they gave to those players. And there was no staying quiet and being nervous or like the Chelsea end. No, it was full on. We're here with you. Your fight is our fight. That's what made me fall in love with the club, was the fans, the noise, the atmosphere. It's a special thing. It really is. And to watch that today and see it, amazing. Right, my friends, I'm going to say goodnight to you, and I'm going to go grab myself a bite to eat. And like you, I'm going to take in as much content as I can from today. Listen to as many podcasts, clips, articles, everything that I can get into me. And I will see you. Oh no, that was my wife accidentally calling me. She accidentally hit off the call button. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 8:30. We'll have a video out at 6 o'clock tomorrow, but the first live stream won't be till 8:30 tomorrow night. So I will see you then. Thank you for watching. Do hit the like button before you head off. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And yeah, appreciate you guys as always. Much love.